So, been kind of meaning to make this video for a while now, but I keep putting it off. Um, I'm not exactly sure why, but I kind of want to explain more in depth why I'm not going to be doing gun videos anymore, or at least why I'm not going to be doing gun videos as the main content of my channel. Um, so back in 2020, I was running a Facebook group titled Glares in Armed Leftist. Back at that point, there was a lot of Facebook groups with a similar name. The in armed leftist usually was laughs or sighs, or there was a bunch of different variations. I'm not even sure which one was the original, to be completely honest. But anywho, I started it actually back in January of 2020. Maybe even before that, it might have been December. But yeah, basically, I was adminning that with a buddy of mine, and about halfway through the year, I think with, the riots and the protests and COVID going on, it was kind of just a perfect storm of people being way more online and way more into guns at the same time. We saw a huge influx of people joining the group and finding the group. Whatever Facebook's algorithm was, it was working. So I ended up having to have a bunch of different people join my admin team, so that I could process the daily join requests. And some of my subscribers actually might even be people from that group. I know I posted a few of my videos to the group. But anywho, this probably isn't going where you think it's going, because you would think that my excuse would be that, I was so busy with the group I couldn't get to YouTube, but it's actually quite the opposite. Basically, in September, when the QAnon stuff started getting pretty bad, Facebook decided to kind of launch an operation against individuals and groups that they had titled militarized social movements, or MSMs. And when they did that, they shut down, I think the number was over 30,000 groups or accounts, pretty much overnight, in August. And then when that had happened, my group wasn't initially hit by that, and so I kind of thought we must be doing something right, we're playing by the rules, we're not causing any problems, we're stepping in tow kind of thing, so we're just gonna continue on business as usual, but maybe we'll be a little bit more careful about who we let in, kind of thing. In retrospect, I'm an absolute idiot. I was way too cocky, I guess. I just didn't think that it was gonna happen to us. But then September 30th, I believe it was. September 30th, me and the rest of my admin team woke up to find that all of our Facebook accounts had been deactivated, and the group had been shut down. technically the group actually wasn't shut down. It's just that without admins to run a group, it kind of just dissolves. Um, but anywho, yeah, so we were part of the targeted assault of taking down militarized social movements. And I think a big reason why, we were targeted is because, even though we weren't like outright like saying like, like attack the government and shit like that, we were definitely like encouraging people to prepare for something. 2020 was crazy and no one had any idea how the world was going to work or if we were ever even going to recover from all of the bullshit that was going on. So, there was a lot of fear and a lot of hopelessness, and we were just trying to get people encouraged to take matters into their own hands and just prepare for whatever bullshit was coming for them. And so a lot of that came in the form of like teaching people about firearms, teaching people about armor, teaching people about first aid. That was a big one, actually. We were like really hardcore about first aid. I myself didn't even know a lot of the first aid stuff, so I got to learn a lot. And that was actually another big thing with the group is like I started out like basically an absolute like rookie at everything, whether it be like guns, gears, first aid, any of that stuff. And as the group grew, I kind of had to like keep up with it. So like I had like experts like talking to me and teaching me and everything like that. It was kind of like a really fast way to get like smart and good and knowledgeable at something, because man, like I didn't have any choice. There's constantly new people asking me questions and they were looking to me, and if I didn't have the answers, it was just like, well, I'm going to make the group look bad, so I have to have the answers, or I have to have someone who has the answers. So I either had to keep my resources pretty tight and have people available to answer those questions, or I myself had to be educated on everything. But yeah, so group got dissolved September 30th, and losing my Facebook account of over 9 years at that point. Actually, no, that would have been 11 years. Yeah, because I started my account in 2009. So yeah, 11 years of Facebook content just terminated overnight. And like you can back up your Facebook, but if they don't give you access to the account, then you can't get any of that data off of there. And once the account's deleted, then like there's no backup because it's deleted. You don't get the luxury of asking Facebook like, hey, can I get my pictures, when they themselves deactivate your account. And it really fucking sucks, because like I had over a decade of pictures of cats, over a decade of pictures of my family, over a decade of pictures of my wife and me, and all the memories that we went through, and all the like highs and lows of our life, all the dates, all the anniversaries, all the special moments we shared together. And it was just all just gone. Like Facebook did not give a shit. They didn't reach out to me and warn me. They didn't talk to me. There was absolutely no effort. It was like, whatever the algorithm was, programmed to find, like it just found it and it attacked it. It didn't care. It was a completely unthinking, unfeeling, just termination of any account. And, back then, a lot of people were like, oh, this is a good thing. Because it seemed at first like it was targeting Boogaloo Boys, and it was targeting far-right extremists, and it was targeting QAnon and those kind of fuckers. but it's really anyone with a fucking gun is what it was ended up boiling down to. Anyone who was, you know, who owned a firearm and had a political opinion, like, basically fell into the algorithm. So, I mean, has a lot of fucking people. But I don't think it was like mostly targeted attacks. It was just mostly groups. But if you were an admin of a group that, you know, got hit by that algorithm, you were gone. We had one guy that I had just brought onto our team, literally like within the week, and he lost his account too. You know, and he was just like, "What the fuck," you know, like, and we didn't even have a backup way to contact this guy to like tell him we were sorry. He had no fucking clue what was going on. I'm not even honestly sure that he even got to like do any of the admin job, you know. Whatever. But anywho, yeah, so this is kind of just like the first time I've actually like sat down and talked about this, like in front of a camera at least. I've told tons of people. But yeah, so in May of that same year, I was involved in a huge misunderstanding with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. There was some kind of miscommunication between me and a close friend of mine, and someone else had been eavesdropping on the conversation and misheard some things, taken out of context. Effectively, the conversation had been about me planning to attend a Black Lives Matter rally. And at the time, emotions were really high, and a lot of the rallies that were going on were ending up in police brutality, like just wholesale police brutality, you know, like not like incited violence, like, you know, like someone started something and the police responded. It was just literally the police just like treating BLM as if it was just an excuse to, you know, get rough. But anywho, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I had said that, you know, if police started shooting people, like if they just started opening fire on people, silver lining was that, you know, the location of the rally was less than a minute away from my house. I could take a few buddies of mine and we could, you know, make it back here, arm ourselves, and retaliate. I was mostly just speaking dark humor kind of thing. I don't think that was ever like a actual like plan that we intended to act upon. It was just a joke. But nevertheless, it got taken out of context, and it was taken to be way too serious, and spread from one individual to another, and one thing led to another, and it ended up getting to the police. And when it got to the police, basically it was there was an attempt to update my file to state that I was aggressive towards police. And once that attempt was made, basically they wanted reasoning for it. And once the reasoning was input, the out of context information that was shared was effectively that I had planned to commit mass murder at this rally. And this isn't funny at all. The reason I'm laughing is just because like my actual intentions compared to what I was being perceived of was just night and day ridiculous. So anywho, with that, the FBI was flagged. Basically, they took it super, super fucking serious. And, you know, the next morning, they decided to come to my house with rifles and question me. I kind of think they had intentions of doing a lot more than just questioning me, but luckily for me, I think they just ended up deciding to handle it in the best way possible. Honestly, just even fucking thinking about it again is like making me fucking nervous. But anywho, fortunately for me, the previous night I had actually taken all of my rigs, all of my kits, all of my gear, and I'd converted it to first aid only. The organizers of the event had actually specifically requested that no one bring firearms to the event, that nobody bring weapons. And so I was obliging that. Against my better judgment, but really, it's in retrospect, it was great that it all played out that way. But anywho, so yeah, they showed up. I won't get into the details because I've told plenty of people about it, but they showed me some memes that I had shared and asked me about the context of them. I just told them honestly what the context was. I really didn't try to like hide anything. I just was completely upfront with them and told them how it was and told it like it is. Pretty quickly, I think they kind of just wouldn't say dropped their guard, but they weren't anticipating a threat, I guess. After just a few minutes of talking to me. It could have been that, they woke me up out of a dead sleep and I really didn't have any time to react, but that's neither here nor there. But anywho, so between, having the FBI visit me and having my Facebook account deleted, after 2020, I'm kind of at the point where like it's just not worth it, to like continue being invested in all this stuff, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Political activism, call it what you want. I don't know. I've never done anything. Like, I've never been active in anything. I went to that Black Lives Matter rally. Despite what you might think, I still attended it. I even told them I was going to attend it. Apparently, I've heard rumors that someone had spotted a sniper on the hill that like was seemingly monitoring the event. I don't know if that was for me or because of me or if it was just planned for the event regardless, but crazy shit. 2020 was wild. But anywho, yeah, so I basically decided towards the end of 2020 that I really wanted to step away from a lot of that stuff and kind of just find something else to occupy my time. So that's kind of where I've started to move into Gunpla and model building. Well, just Gunpla. I'm not gonna start building cars or tanks or anything. But yeah, so that's kind of why I'm making that transition. And then with the new Biden administration, guns probably aren't going to be all that relevant anymore anyways. Ammo is still really, really difficult to find. Cool guns are still hard to find. You know, there's tons of lame guns. Like, you know, people can still find high points and fucking shitty ass grandpa revolvers, but I mean, I'm really fortunate to have purchased all the firearms that I did last year, because they're very hard to find now. So, yeah, and a lot of my videos have taken off on those. I guess people are, like, pretty interested in that stuff, so that's pretty cool, but unfortunately for those viewers and subscribers even, I'm probably not going to be making any more content like that. It's just, it is what it is, but I am hoping to kind of get started on doing some videos for some of my kits that I've already built. I really should have, like, actually done videos for this, like, as I went. But as it stands right now, I currently have, Jesus, 7 master grades built, including, and as well as the entry grade that I initially built when I first started. I didn't just dive right into this hobby. I did, like, you know, kind of give it a test to, like, see if I was gonna like it, but I liked the entry grade kit so much that I had to have more. And I'm really glad. It's a really nice therapeutic hobby. I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to disconnect from digital. You don't have to be online to build Gunpla. In fact, it's recommended that you're not. It's a great way to just, like, listen to music, listen to podcasts, listen to, you know, I guess ASMR if you're a fucking psychopath. You know, something like that, something to just unwind and, you know, just really calm yourself. It's really soothing. Unless you're painting eyes. If you're painting eyes, keep your guns locked up if you're painting eyes, I guess is what I would say to that. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. It's kind of just like an update to get everybody up to speed. I keep making short videos, so, like, I decided to, like, actually sit down and, like, talk about this. Or maybe I'm just, you know, putting off all of the backlog of kits that I haven't built. Who knows what my reasonings are. I definitely don't, but alright, I think that about covers it, so toodles.